Hi, we're going to be learning today about possessive nouns. So we've talked a little bit about the possessive pronoun adjective, which answers the question, whose? And today we're learning about the possessive noun, which also answers the question, whose. So look up here on my screen, you can see the possessive noun jingle. This jingle you can find online. I've sent the YouTube link to your parents. Please listen to it and practice it. For now, let's read it together. Just pretend you're with me and read along. A possessive noun just can't be beat. It shows ownership, and that is neat. Add an apostrophe to show possession. This is a great ownership lesson. Adjective is its part of speech. Ask whose to find it as you speak. Whose house? Tommy's house. Possessive noun adjective. So let's talk a little bit about this word ownership. Ownership means that you own something. So whose house is it? It's Tommy's house. It's the house that belongs to Tommy. If we had a cup of tea in the class, this is my cup of tea. If we said Mrs. Wise's tea, Mrs. Wise's would be the possessive noun adjective describing tea. Whose tea? Mrs. Wise's tea. Mrs. Wise is a noun normally, right? Because I'm a person. But here I am describing what kind of tea it is. What kind of tea? Whose tea? Mrs. Wise's tea. It's a possessive noun adjective. So this is a noun that has two jobs. It shows ownership and it modifies like an adjective. Let's look at this cute little kitty cat over here. So this cat has a toy. And so if I wanted to describe whose toy this is, I would say it's the cat's toy. Look up here where my cursor is. You can see there's a little green apostrophe. When I'm showing possession, I put a little green apostrophe and add an S to make it possessive. This is the cat's toy. Well, look over here. Here the apostrophe is outside the S. What's going on? What's going on here is that we have two cats that have toys. This is already made plural. This is a suffix. How would you guys code a suffix? Yes, that's right. You would put it in a box. So this suffix makes cats plural. That means there's not just one cat, there's two cats, and they both have toys. So if there's already the suffix S on our base word, we just put an apostrophe after the S. We don't have to add another S on the end here and say cat's toys. We would just say cats. So if you have one cat, you add an apostrophe and an S. If you have two cats, then you just add the apostrophe. So the thing that shows possession is the apostrophe, which looks kind of like a comma, but it's up in the air on top of the word. Look at point 2. A possessive noun functions as an adjective because it modifies another noun. So even though it's a noun, Mrs. Wise is still a noun, cat is still a noun, Tommy is still a noun. It's functioning, it's getting a job like an adjective. Remember some other jobs that nouns do? We have nouns that sometimes are the object of the preposition, right? Here, a noun is doing another job. It's becoming an adjective. It's describing another noun. Look here, you've got cat's toy. Cats is describing the toy, or we call it modifying. It's modifying the toy. So if we're trying to find a possessive noun when we're doing our question and answer flow, we'll begin with the question, whose? Whose toy? Cat's. And a possessive noun is labeled with the abbreviation PNA for possessive noun adjective. Now, guys, this is going to get confusing because I'm going to say whose toy, and you're going to say cat's, possessive pronoun adjective, PPA, because that's what we've been doing. But cats isn't a pronoun, right? We've talked about the pronouns. The pronouns are words like my, our, his, her, its, they, you, your. They're words that take the place of a noun. But here we have the noun cat. It doesn't go anywhere. There's no pronoun taking its place. but it's turning into an adjective when it's got that little apostrophe showing possession. Now, see this little yellow star here? A possessive noun does not affect the pattern of a sentence because it acts as an adjective. It's not a core part. So just because we added a possessive noun adjective to the sentence does not mean that all of a sudden our sentence is out of order or it's in inverted order. So you could check the sentence and look and say, is this sentence in natural order or is the sentence in inverted order? Just because it has a possessive noun adjective does not automatically mean that it's inverted. However, it might be inverted. That would be because of a different reason. So let's go to the next page. Okay, we're going to focus on the left side of the screen over here, where it says adding possessive nouns to the question and answer flow. And I'm going to put me over here. Whoa, I'm moving. Okay, so that you can see me. And I'm talking about what you can see on your screen right here. Let's read it together. The baby's bottle fell to the floor. Oh, this is sad. What fell to the floor? Bottle, subject, noun. We would write SN above bottle. What's being said about bottle? Bottle fell, verb. You know what you would write. You would write a V to show that's the verb. To is a preposition. You would mark it with a P. To what? Floor. Object of the preposition. Write an OP above floor. The is an article adjective. We'll write capital A above the. And now we come to our new part of speech, the possessive noun adjective. Whose bottle? Baby's. Possessive noun adjective. And you would write, if we were doing this together, P-N-A above babies. And that just leaves one word. We've got the article adjective, and we'll write a capital A above the. We've got a subject noun, and we have a verb. This is sentence pattern 1. And now we're checked for our prepositional phrases. Where's our prepositional phrase? Look for it. I know you can cheat and look right there because it says under bullet point 9, but you really should be using your brain. So it says to the floor is our prepositional phrase. We'll mark it with our parentheses. Remember, whenever you open a parentheses, you have to close a parentheses. They like to go together. Then we'll go back to the verb and we would divide it, the complete subject from the complete predicate. This sentence is in natural order. I just want you to look down here at the bottom. You can see how the new part of speech that we're working on is in red, just to show you what we're doing here. And look down here under student tip. A possessive noun will always be marked with an apostrophe. So if you're wondering, is this a possessive noun? I don't really know. Look at the word. If the word does not have an apostrophe, it is not a possessive noun. So it has to have an apostrophe to be marked that way. There's probably an exception to that we'll uncover later. But for now, it's a rule. A possessive noun is always marked with an apostrophe. So that will be like a little clue to you. If you see an apostrophe, it's like going, wee, 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 wee. I am a possessive noun adjective. Don't forget about me. So I'm going to give you guys a worksheet, and when you do it, there's going to be possessive noun adjectives on there. Everything else that I talked about, we've done in class. You've done it before. Don't panic, but if you need help, call me. I'm not that far away. Yes, and we will be talking more about this later. But for now, goodbye. I hope you learned something.